Melbourne, Australia, March 2013. The time is 1:42 a.m. The location is the Crown Casino, a fortress of luxury perched on the southern bank of the Yarra River. This isn't just a building, it is a city within a city, a cathedral of greed where the lights never dim and the clocks are intentionally hidden. Imagine you are standing in the teak room. This is the VVIP sector. The air here smells different, a mixture of aged mahogany, Cuban cigars, and the metallic tang of adrenaline. The minimum bet here could pay off a standard mortgage. You are watching a man at the baccarat table. Let's call him the Whale. He is foreign, he is impeccably dressed, and he is eerily calm. Most gamblers, even the billionaires, have a tell, a twitch of the eye when the stakes get high, a bead of sweat on the temple when the dealer reaches for the shoe. But this man, he is a statue. He is betting tens of thousands of dollars with the casual indifference of a man buying a newspaper. He pushes a tower of chips forward. The dealer, a professional trained to spot the slightest irregularity, feels a cold shiver run down his spine. Something is wrong. The math isn't adding up. The probability curves are bending in ways they shouldn't. High above them, hidden behind domes of smoked glass, are the cameras. The eye in the sky. The most sophisticated surveillance system in the Southern Hemisphere. Thousands of high-definition lenses, facial recognition software, and a team of security experts watching every hand, every shuffle, every cheat. The casino trusts those cameras with its life. They are the ultimate fail-safe. But here is the irony that will cost the Crown Casino $33 million in less than 8 hands. The casino thinks the cameras are watching the player. They don't realize that the player is watching them. The Whale smiles. He turns over his cards. A perfect, natural 9. He wins again. He isn't gambling. He is making a withdrawal. And the security system designed to stop him is the very weapon he is holding to the casino's head. To understand how a heist of this magnitude is even possible, you have to understand the beast that is the Crown Casino. Forget what you know about Vegas. This isn't the neon-soaked chaos of the Strip. This is Melbourne. Here, gambling is wrapped in a tuxedo. In 2013, the Crown was the largest casino complex in the Southern Hemisphere. It was a sprawling labyrinth of 510,000 square meters. A city of vice built on the banks of the Yarra. It generated profits so massive they could tilt the economy of a small nation. But its true power wasn't in its slot machines or its roulette wheels. It was in its omniscience. Step into the security control room. It looks less like a casino office and more like NASA mission control. Rows of monitors, a wall of screens, men in headsets speaking in hushed, clipped tones. They call it the eye in the sky. Over 3,000 high-definition cameras blanket the property. There is no blind spot, not in the bathrooms, not in the elevators, and certainly not in the high-stakes VIP rooms. These cameras are powerful enough to zoom in and read the serial number on a dollar bill from across the room. They can track a bead of sweat rolling down a cheater's neck. The Crown prided itself on being impenetrable. They spent millions of dollars training their staff to spot old-world cheats, card counters, dice sliders, sleeve droppers. They were obsessed with the physical world. They watched hands, they watched sleeves, they watched eyes. And that was their fatal flaw. The year is 2013. The world is pivoting. We are moving from the analog age to the digital age, and the Crown was stuck in the middle. They had upgraded their cameras to state-of-the-art IP, Internet Protocol systems, connecting them to a network for better clarity and remote access. Do you see the irony yet? In their hunger to see everything more clearly, they connected their closed-circuit eyes to the outside world. They built a digital door into a physical vault. The Crown believed they were the predator. They believed the cameras were their weapon. They didn't realize that in the world of cyber warfare, a camera isn't just an eye. It's a portal. And on this specific night, the most expensive security system in Australia wasn't protecting the money. It was acting as the getaway driver. In a con this sophisticated, you don't have criminals. You have specialized assets. The face, the Whale. He sits at the table, a man of few words and deep pockets. To the Crown's VIP hosts, he is the ideal guest. He drinks their top-shelf whiskey, he tips the waitresses with $100 chips, and he loses just enough to keep the smiles on their faces. Until he stops losing. He is not a genius. He is an actor. His role is simple. Discipline. He must sit in that chair for hours, ignoring the millions of dollars swinging back and forth. and wait for the signal. He isn't playing the cards. He is playing the part of a lucky man. He is the puppet, and his strings stretch all the way out of the casino doors. The ghost, the operator. He is not in the casino. He might not even be in the same zip code. He is likely sitting in a dim hotel room nearby, or perhaps in a van parked a few blocks away, bathed in the blue glow of a laptop screen. He is the true architect. While the face sweats under the casino lights, the operator is drinking a Red Bull, staring at a live feed. He has breached the Crown's IP surveillance network. He is seeing exactly what the security team sees, only he is seeing it first. He is the eye that blinks, the voice in the earpiece, the god of this digital machine. The Crown security team. They are the best in the business, and that is their weakness. Arrogance. They are trained to look down. They watch hands shuffling cards. They watch players signaling each other with coughs or taps. They are obsessed with the physical felt of the table. They trust their technology implicitly. They believe that if a camera is on, they control it. They are like a fortress commander watching the front gate with binoculars, completely unaware that the enemy is already inside the walls, using their own tunnels to move around. They aren't fighting a gambler, they're fighting a ghost in the machine. The plan was elegant in its simplicity, terrifying in its execution. It was a digital magic trick performed in real time. Here is how the machinery of the heist turned. The operator had breached the casino's IP surveillance network. This wasn't just a matter of hacking in. It was likely an inside job or a sophisticated brute force attack on a wireless node. Once inside, he took control of a specific PTZ camera. Normally, these cameras scan the room in a random pattern, but tonight, one camera stopped scanning. It fixed its unblinking gaze on the hands of the dealer at the baccarat table in the teak room. The resolution on these cameras is so high, it can distinguish a smudge of dirt on a fingernail. As the dealer shuffled or slightly lifted the cards, the operator, miles away or rooms away, zoomed in. He saw the king of spades before it even hit the felt. He saw the natural 9 before the dealer turned it over. He whispered into a microphone. In the teak room, the whale felt a buzz, or perhaps heard a faint voice in a hidden earpiece. Banker. The whale pushes his chips. He wins. It was the perfect feedback loop. The casino was paying for the camera, paying for the electricity, and paying the dealer to distribute the money. All the thieves had to do was intercept the signal. But then came the human element. Machines are logical. Humans are greedy. The plan had a flaw, and it wasn't in the code, it was in the psychology. The whale was supposed to be disciplined. In a scam like this, you have to lose. You have to throw away $10,000 here, $20,000 there, to make the $100,000 win look like luck. You need to blend into the statistical noise. But imagine you are sitting there. You know the next card is a loser. Your gut screams at you to fold. But the plan says, bet and lose. It takes a superhuman will to throw money into a fire on purpose. The whale started winning too much. He got drunk on the power of omniscience. He stopped playing the role of the lucky gambler and started playing the role of a prophet. He wasn't just winning, he was decimating the house. He was predicting outcomes with a precision that defied the laws of probability. And in the world of casinos, luck is acceptable. But impossible is a siren. He forgot the golden rule of the grifter. Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. The air in the teak room is changed. It is no longer filled with the casual murmurs of the idle rich. It is heavy, suffocating, electrically charged. The whale is no longer just a player. He is a black hole, sucking every chip on the table into his orbit. $5 million, $15 million. $25 million. The pile of chips in front of him looks less like currency and more like a plastic fortress. Up in the surveillance room, the mood has shifted from curiosity to cold panic. The pit bosses are sweating. Not figuratively, literally. You can see the damp patches on their shirts. They are calling the shift managers. The shift managers are waking up the executives. He can't miss, someone whispers, staring at the monitor. Mathematically, he should have lost 3 hands ago. He's playing like he can see through the cards. And then, the moment of absolute madness, the climax. It's the final run. The whale pushes a stack worth a small island nation's GDP into the center. The dealer's hands are shaking. Can you imagine the pressure? Dealing a card that could cost your employer another $1 million? Slow motion. The card slides across the green felt. The friction sounds like sandpaper in the dead silence. The whale doesn't hesitate. He doesn't look at his cards. He looks at the dealer. A small, arrogant smirk plays on his lips. He taps the table. Stay. The dealer turns the banker's hand. A king, a 4. Total, 4. The player turns his hand. A 6. An 8. No, wait. A queen. Total, 6. He wins. Again. The room explodes, not with cheers, but with the collective gasp of disbelief. The whale stands up. He has racked up $33 million. In the control room, a senior security analyst slams his fist on the desk. He isn't looking at the player anymore. He's looking at the camera feed itself. He notices something subtle, a slight lag, a tiny pixelation.
Wait,
He says, his voice cutting through the panic.
rewind the tape. Look at the camera angle.
He points to the screen. The camera 34B, is zoomed in tight on the dealer's shoe. Too tight. It's not in its standard patrol pattern. It's locked.
Who is controlling camera 34B?
He shouts. The room goes silent. The operators look at their consoles. Hands hover over joysticks.
Nobody, sir.
A junior officer stammers.
Nobody is touching it.
The blood drains from the manager's face. He looks at the millions of dollars disappearing downstairs. Then, back at the ghost camera, moving on its own. Lock the doors, he whispers. He's not lucky. We've been hacked. The whale stands up from the table. He is surrounded by an entourage of admirers, waitresses, and the invisible weight of $33 million in plastic chips. He feels like a king. He feels untouchable. But here is the twist. Here is the fatal mistake that turns a genius heist into a Greek tragedy. The thieves had mastered the technology. They had mastered the game. But they had forgotten the most basic rule of the casino ecosystem. The house doesn't pay until the house is sure. The whale made the mistake of thinking those plastic chips were money. They aren't. They are IOUs. They are promises. And the Crown Casino was about to revoke that promise. As the whale retreated to his penthouse villa, one of the most exclusive rooms in Melbourne, comped by the very people he was robbing, the machine below him was grinding into gear. The security team hadn't just found the locked camera. They had traced the digital footprint. They realized the feed was being siphoned off. They knew. In a normal bank robbery, the robbers grab the cash and run. They are miles away before the alarm sounds. But in a casino heist, the robber lives inside the bank. The whale was trapped in the belly of the beast he had just wounded. He didn't run. He went to sleep. In a bed provided by the casino. The fatal mistake was hubris. If he had walked out with $5 million, he might have disappeared into the Melbourne night. If he had cashed out slowly, he might have been a legend. But $33 million? That's not a withdrawal. That's a declaration of war. In the early hours of the morning, while the whale was likely dreaming of yachts and islands, the knock came. It wasn't the police. It wasn't the FBI. It was Crown Security. The casino did the one thing the thieves didn't expect. They simply said, no. They refused to cash the chips. They declared the game void. The millions of dollars stacked in the villa were instantly transformed back into what they really were. Useless, colorful pieces of compressed clay. The plan was perfect. The execution was flawless. But they forgot to check the exit door. They were the greatest fishermen in history, but they had caught a shark so big it sank their boat. The sun rises over the Yarra River, painting the Melbourne skyline in hues of bruised purple and gold. Inside the Crown, the lights never change, but the atmosphere has shifted from a fever dream to a cold autopsy. The whale was escorted out, not in handcuffs, but in disgrace. He was given a notice of exclusion, a lifetime ban. He walked out into the cool morning air, leaving behind the $33 million empire he had built in a single night. The Crown Casino recovered the chips. They wiped the loss from their books as if it were a smudge on a whiteboard. But the damage was done. The fortress had been breached. The eye in the sky, the very symbol of their omnipotence, had been turned against them. It was a wake-up call that echoed through the entire gambling industry. From Macau to Las Vegas, security directors looked up at their own cameras and wondered, who is watching the watchers? The thieves were never criminally charged in a public spectacle. Why? Because a casino sells trust. Admitting you were robbed by your own security system is bad for business. It's better to let the thief walk away empty-handed than to admit the vault has a back door. The operator, the genius in the van, faded back into the digital ether. The whale went back to being immortal. In the Crown, they upgraded their firewalls. They changed their protocols. They fired the staff involved. But if you walk into the Crown Casino tonight, stand in the center of the gaming floor and look up, you will see those black domes. Thousands of them. Unblinking. Watching. And you have to ask yourself a question. Are they looking at you to keep you safe? Or are they looking at you because you are the prey? The house always wins. Sometimes because the odds are in their favor. Sometimes because they own the cameras. But mostly because they know that no matter how smart the plan, no matter how perfect the technology, every gambler eventually makes the same mistake. They stay at the table one hand too long.